Welcome to the Dials and Dice podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Parker, joined today with Jonathan. How are you doing?
Doing well. How's everybody doing? I'm just trying to figure out where Scum is and what Scum is without Boba and Kanan. Does it exist?
Good question. Also joined by Lee Wagner. How are you?
Hey guys, glad to be here.
And last but certainly not least, Tim Open
Good evening, everybody.
And forgive me for not having other folks' beautiful faces on the screen. We just didn't really have a chance to get all that set up tonight. But we will be bringing we'll be posting this to Apple Podcasts and also posting it to our YouTube channel as well. So, yeah. Let me know in the chat. We would like for you guys to be active in the chat since this is our attempt at a podcast. Talk with us. Let's see. What's on the docket for tonight? We had Worlds.
We did.
Some kind of big X-Wing event.
Yeah.
It was glorious.
And we have someone that peeked their head in the door.
I did. So I got to do a quick about 4-hour run through of Adepticon. So it's lightning fast. But, I happened to be in town picking up my brother from the airport. And I couldn't not stop there, right?
Is it a big venue?
It's decent size. Yeah, it's at the Renaissance Center down in Schaumburg, Indiana. It's near the IKEA if you've ever been over there towards, it's the bigger IKEA. So my parents just happen to live around the corner from there nicely.
Well, is it bigger than like Gen Con?
Oh, no. Gen Con is by far the biggest event I've been to. It's smaller than Origins, probably. It's, I don't know, about a football stadium size. So it's got a couple different sections. So it's got a big main hall, which has your vendor area, which is about 4 rows of vendors. And then you've got essentially Star Wars and Marvel Crisis Protocol take up the whole side, like the whole side wing, which is probably the size of a large basketball gym. And then the other side, of course, is for your Warhammer. So they've also got a separate hall for Warhammer. And then they've got gaming rooms upstairs as well. So in the main hall. So it's good size. But I would say half or less size of Gen Con, if even that. Probably even a little smaller than Origins if you've been to that game conference. But I mean, overall, it's pretty good size, and it's definitely focused on miniatures. So whereas a lot of the other ones do a lot of board games, so don't get me wrong, there's some of the vendors that do a lot of the board game stuff, but I would say at least 90% is going to be straight miniatures, which is awesome for this particular podcast. I highly recommend going. Stephen, what did you think about it last year?
Last year, well, we didn't play in the X-Wing event, but
Not the main one, nope.
I thought it was pretty great. I would have loved to go on this year. I'm definitely planning on going next year. I just want to be there for the gaming and to see everyone. I'm trying to. I had forgotten to upload some pictures.
The pics I sent?
Yeah. So I'll be getting those up soon. But before we get too distracted, let's talk about some X-Wing. So we did have, like, obviously we're talking about Adepticon Worlds, but how is X-Wing doing? I feel like we went into the weekend Worlds with a lot of expectations in terms of what we were going to see, what we were going to see perform, and what we were going to see in the Top Cut. And I feel like we were surprised by some of the pilots that we saw.
B-Wing.
A B-Wing, 10 nub, and the Top Cut. I mean...
And
I
Wes
love it.
Jansen.
And Hollow. Okay. Yeah, Wes Jensen, I'm not surprised. I love Wes.
Well, right, but like he's not like your go-to like 5-point X-wing.
Right.
Like there's so many other options in Rebels. Like Wes is great. Don't get me wrong. Like that jam is amazing.
Well,
And it paid dividends.
who knew
Yeah.
throwing a lot of red dice is good?
Yeah. But a true Rebel that honestly, the Rebel surprised me like in such a good way because obviously there was a lot of speculation going into Worlds that Rebels like weren't going to do that well, but like I just think that it was very unexplored. And same thing with Scum, but the thing is with Rebels is there's so many more tools available to the Rebels in the current meta that it like certain pieces will work no matter what you put them with. Like for example, like Aaron Kraken. Like Aaron Kraken and Dutch has always been a good Y wing, and Aaron has always been a good filler. Which is the pieces around it that really made the list pull together. But the
Right.
other Rebel list that really shocked me was the Battle of Yavin Han in the 4 A wings.
Yeah, I like that.
That is also Bartosh too, who's been
Yeah,
flying A-wings like for years.
Oh yeah, I mean he was doing the Resistance A wings for a long time too.
But it does make you wonder, like, are X-wing players? We're just lazy. Like, we really don't experiment enough.
Uh-huh.
And like, once we hear something's good, we kind of like get all this echo chamber, and we're like, you know what? It is pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially what you saw it in First Order too. I mean, First Order you've got the core 4 Tie Fighters, and then it's just fill from there, or dudes like some slight tweaks.
Well, and I like DT over Scorch.
Same, I'm with you on that one because you can still do a stressful maneuver, still gain your strain, and still get that additional attack die.
Yep. All right. We do want to. So there was a post on a Facebook page, from another content creator, which just disappeared, but I'm trying to pull it back up.
Formerly Monarch people.
Yes. And there was someone on there that asked some questions. And the questions are bear with me. Well, World's behind us, and probably some updates from AMG in the not so distant future. What are your takeaways? First question. Who wants to go first?
Man, what a time to be an Empire and Rebel player. You're gonna get so much stuff coming out. I think what's the release? May 26th.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't catch the date on that. What is the date?
I thought the release for the Empire and Rebel starter packs are the 26th of May.
I think that
Excellent.
includes the Tie BA. I mean the bomber too.
Yeah. Yep. And then, hey, I'm really excited to see what May 4th releases we're gonna see from AMG.
Oh yeah.
Like, I assume we're gonna get a points update the next like 60 to 90 days.
Oh wow. So the MSRP for the starter squadron starter packs are $74.99.
For 4 models.
Yeah.
And you're getting templates, a damage deck,
That's
dice.
true.
I mean that sets it to just under $20 a model.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah, that's not bad actually.
and how much is the template set? Like $20 now too.
that's true.
And the
That's true.
damage
So
decks were like 5. So
no, weren't they 10? I thought they were 10 or 12.
I about to
Oh,
say I think
like
they're
for-
like at least $10.
Oh well, there you go. Yeah, that's $30 of value right there.
Yeah. And then dice. So dice is another 12, I think. So that's what, 25 approximately, plus the templates, which is another 20. So that's, I mean, right there you got, $50 or so. 45, and then you
Not
got your 4
including the
models.
models.
Yeah, and then you got 4 models. So what do the individual packs sell for? I'm trying to think. Was it $20 a
Yeah,
model?
$20
I thought they
with
went up
the
to like
price
29.
raised. For the small size ships, it should be around $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steven, if you scroll down and what you got on the Twitch, you might be able to see it. Might find a small one in there. And as you can see, like what he's got on there, like I mean, the Razor Crest itself is $38. Then like the dual small ship base for like the Rogue class is $48.
$23.99. So the B wings are $39.95.
Yeah, they were expensive.
You get two
I think
ships.
75. Well, still, I'm just saying that I think it's a good price point to get into it. So I'm excited. So I feel like there's obviously been some fall off here over the over the last few years, really, between 1.0 to 2.0 and then 2.0 to 2.5. There's been a lot of folks that were disenfranchised. So it's nice to see that they're going to support X-Wing moving forward by helping bring the new players into the fold.
Yeah.
And I hope like something
Agreed.
like the Worlds event will kind of like re-energize the community.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Agreed.
I think a lot of people, especially since GSP is allowing the weekend stream to be reviewed by people who are not subscribers. It's allowing people to go watch those games, just see the excitement, because I mean there's a buzz going on, throughout all the games.
And it'll be nice to see like the trickle effect from this, like with all the loot that was handed out. It seemed like there's a lot of chatter out there of like people are like, "Oh, I can't wait to take this back to my local community." And I hope stuff like that will like kind of reinvigorate everybody.
If you want to
I
fly,
mean,
We definitely.
if you want to fly
The-
generics, you can get the 1.0 bombers for $12.60 a piece.
Oh my god!
Nice. Well, and the Worlds was huge. I mean, they had 188 people playing in there, which is a good sized tournament. That hall was packed.
Well, the
Well,
So-
if you
LCQ
include
had
the
180.
LCQ, like the last chance qualifier, if you add on that, I mean, it was
Oh,
close
true.
to 300 players.
Yeah.
You're
'cause
right.
they took like 50 or 60 from the
They
LCQ.
took the top. They took 60. They took 50 guaranteed, and then 51 through 60 was your wait list,
Okay.
and all 9 people made it. Because one of the people in that 9, and Ryan Staniszewski actually said this on the GSP podcast, is because Ryan Staniszewski was actually number 60, so he was the bottom of the LCQ, and the only reason he made it is because one of the waitlist guys in that 9 had car trouble that morning and couldn't actually make the event on time for the main event. So because he couldn't make it on time, and then he didn't get there, he still showed up, but it was like round 3, or almost at the end of round 3 of the tournament by that time. And by that time, Ryan was 3-0, going into for day 1.
Wait, it's kind of crazy too. Like that was a lot of X-wing.
Oh my gosh!
Like you could have, if you went from the LCQ to the final, that's 18 games of X-wing.
18 games. So I remember the weekend of Nova, Jonathan, you played 13 games, right?
Oh my god, it was so many.
I think I
Because
played
I played
10.
in-
You played 13.
Oh,
Your
Yeah,
brain had to
because
be
I played-
mush.
And like
well, a
after
little
10
bit,
games
but
on a weekend, I was fried. Like,
yeah, it was a
of
lot.
course,
It was a lot because I did the main event
I
with.
did win the side event, so
You did, but that's also when you had cheapo 3-point resistance Y wings. So
hey,
Yeah.
what's good is good.
Oh, give me
and I'm still
one 3-point Y-wing.
Yeah,
well, okay, yeah,
I wish.
one 3.1 would be fine, but then so leading into another topic of what needs a nerf and why, or actually no, that would be what needs a buff. Never mind. Let's move on to that. Well, you guys want to move into what needs a nerf and why?
Let me pull up the questions here so I can just look.
I don't know if
Well, we haven't even said what
Scum
faction
needs something, right?
squads flopped.
Yeah, so
I'd
let's
be
talk
curious.
about factions. So I mean, we've all looked at well, I'm sure a lot of people who have or listening and watching have listened to all the other podcasts already this past week, which have talked about the top 32, the top 8 or whatever. But let's just what's bad? So like what faction is not performing well? I guess that would be a good question.
Well, the Resistance, no one made it in the top 8.
Yeah.
But
And
What,
I
14?
yeah, I think 14th was the highest.
Yeah, with Poe, Finn, Yarick, Kazuono, and Meryl Coben. So that was the highest ranking resistance list. So from Emblazoned.
Ablazoned.
Yeah.
So
Where
as
was that?
far as
Where was
like
that
what
Falcon list at?
the one with the Battle of Yavin,
The Falcon A.
I'm
No,
looking.
yeah, the Falcon A wing.
that finished in the top 4.
Yeah, that was
That was a
3.
Rebel.
Oh no,
Oh.
I'm sorry.
That was Rebel. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah.
It was Rebel.
Yeah, it wasn't resistance.
There are, in my personal opinion, there are 2 factions that are suffering the most right now, and that is Resistance and Scum. And I say Scum with the caveat outside of Boba Fett and Kanan.
Well, also, I think maybe that comes back from, they're just in an echo chamber. They're like, oh, this is just really, really good. It's so good. I don't want to play anything else in the faction.
Right.
I
Like,
mean, that's
so
yeah, that's true, and that's the
what
same thing
else,
with the Separatists too. Though is Django Dirge a 3-point bomber, whether it be SOC 404 or a bombardment drone, and yeah, to say it's a 4-point SEPI list or 4-ship SEPI list. But even Separatists still went top 4. Scum made top 8. There were 2 Rebel lists in top 4.
But look at Scum. You've got 6th place, 13th place, and then you got 48th.
That's some spread, right?
Yeah, because the ones that were on top were the double fire spray list.
Yeah.
Double fire spray and Kanan.
Right.
I think
Right.
part of that is, like I said, we were talking about it earlier. I was like, X-Wing players were pretty lazy. Like, we just want the best thing out there to fly.
Right.
And I don't know if, did we, as a community, did we experiment enough with the Scum faction to find anything good, or did someone just find something good and everyone just honed in on that and
Yeah.
nobody wants to see anything else?
I'm ready to see what people are going to try next besides Kanan and Boba. Like, what is someone going to bring to a tournament and win with, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, that's good." Or
So there was one list.
Does there really need to be a points change for that to happen?
Well,
I mean, maybe because nobody's gonna. I'm sorry, Tim.
I said a points change will force it. Like if they make the loadout for Kanan like 7 points or 6 points,
Now, if you go down to
people
the
throw the child on
the
it.
48th place, and you look at that list, it is a
That's the list I was going to talk about.
it's Dirge, Sarasu, Q9, and Dr. Aphra, which is actually
Do you love
a little along the same thoughts of the Scum list that I was recently trying. Instead of Dr. Aphra, I was flying Sarasu, Leighton, Q9, and who else was it?
Dirge.
Amon.
Oh, Amon.
Yeah. But this seems to be more along the line of like just a different style Scum list.
Yeah. I mean, you've got Dirge, Sarasu, and Q9 all at I5, which are great. Dirge, just being Dirge. I mean, it's a great 4-point filler ship that you can tool however you need to. Sarasu or Protorps, in this list in particular, Q9, with not doing the traditional Mando Child loadout. Opted for L3, Ahsoka, Contraband, and then the Razor Crest title.
I actually had a build similar to that, but I was like, nobody's flying L3 on it. Again, sheep mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And Afra.
we need to see some 4-point fangs. A lot of
Yeah.
4-point fangs.
Oh my
Right,
gosh!
so you
What
already
I would
mentioned
not
that.
give, what I would not
5-fang
give for
list.
some 4-point.
Because if you got Mauler Boy and Backstabber Boy like at 3 and 4 points, and I did at 4 points, why can't Cad Solus be 4 points?
Exactly. Like, what in the world?
Or give me old
Yeah,
T at 5.
Yeah, you got 4 you've got 4 hull TIE fighters rolling around with abilities that help each other out to give them 3rd attack dies.
Right. Yeah.
Like, why
I
can't we
think-
have
I think we
at least
might-
one more?
I think we might see some changes to Scum for those smaller ships.
Well, hopefully, like I want to see something Mandalore. Like, hey, if every ship in your list is Mandalorian, has the Mandalorian keyword, guess what? They cost 1 point less.
That'd be
That would be
awesome.
cool.
All right. So, what is our next question? I'm going to try to keep this within about an hour. So let's try to just move this along. What was the next question on that list? Where was it at? I have so
What
many
do you
windows
think
open.
needs a nerf? Yeah, what do you think needs a nerf and why?
What needs a nerf?
TIE fighters.
Well, yeah, definitely TIE fighters. I was
Just raise
thinking.
the price up.
I was thinking. The VCX pilot that everybody was flying. I'm just kidding.
Do you really think they're going to nerf the ties though before they release that Imperial set?
Huh.
Well, hopefully we'll see regular TIE fighters go up, and then the TIE bombers will be super cheap, and they'll come in and wreck everything for 6 months.
Yeah,
It would be
I
cool
was
to see
about to
the
say.
TIE bombers, them fix the loadouts back a little, since they increased the price of the trash missile, whatever it's called.
Talking about the barrage rockets?
No, the trash missiles.
Trash
Oh,
missiles.
chaff
The,
cloud?
Chaff clouds, yeah.
Oh,
You said
Chaff
trash
missiles.
missiles. Jeez.
I like it. I like it. That's funny. I think you're the only one who's called it that, but whatever.
That's what it is.
Trash,
It's
trash
so
missile.
confusing.
It's a trash missile.
So confusing.
Okay.
But anyway, since they increased the cost of those, I feel like they could work with the bombers a little bit to open them up, to give them more options and to be more playable.
Well, I think seeing that the bendy bomb drop and getting a cheap bomber out there is going to really scare some of these high agility, low hull ships.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
it's going to completely change how people fly because I mean you have a bendy. I mean you now have access to a bendy prox mine. I mean that's going to be huge.
Yeah.
I mean, look what Y-wings did with a high loadout and being cheap. Like,
Right. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
so if you can get
Yes.
like them at 3 points and run like 3 or 4 bombers and just have them zipping around dropping bombs, we'd go
I
back.
don't think they need to be 3-point bombers. Like maybe 1 or 2, but my personal opinion is I don't think there needs to be a bunch of 3-point bombers because then once you see a bunch of 3-point like Empire bombers, that's literally all you're going to see. It's
if
going
I
to be
want
the same problem that you
4-point
had with the
bombers-
3-point. Huh?
But if I want 4-point bombers, I'll just fly first order.
I mean that's fair, but you have the abilities that are in Empire, but it's the same. It's going to run into the same problem that you did with the Resistance Y wings when you had too many 3-point Y wings.
The Y-wings were never a problem.
Okay.
Well, what did we have at Cherokee, Stephen? Do you remember at top table? We had a lot of bombers, if I remember correct. Am I wrong? I'm trying to pull up our top or our top table at Cherokee. I'm having a hard time finding the lists.
Oh, you'd have to like look on List Fortress.
Yeah, well, I'm looking on there now. I'm not seeing it, so that was my problem. I was trying to find it. But I don't know. That's all right. So I think we had a lot of success with our bombers, and they definitely weren't 3 points then. But I think we lost Steven here for a second.
I'm back. I'm going to go grab some cards because you know what? If you're watching and you type in the chat, we're going to give away an alt art card.
All right.
So start typing in the chat. Let's see. Right about now, I guess. So start typing in the chat, and I will pull a giveaway here in a few minutes once we get some people who are eligible for the giveaway, and we'll give away an alt art card. So let's continue. Where were we?
About things that need a nerf, or do we want to move on to the next question?
What
Is there
else
more
needs
things that
nerfing?
need to be nerfed?
No. What else needs nerfing?
The Yavin stuff and the sock stuff,
Yeah.
and you're
They've
seeing
had
it
their time.
everywhere. Yeah,
How do you nerf
They've
that?
had
though?
their time.
you just raise their point. Look, increase it by 1. Now
But
DBS.
is that too much though?
I don't think so. And I don't. And the reason why I don't think it's too much is because if you increase it by a point and make it the same cost as the customizable version, you now actually have to choose between what you want to customize or having that bonus Battle of Yavin ability
Exactly.
or whatever it is printed on that, and then it makes it a bit more even instead of getting a good chassis or a good ship that is like is already a good ship and is already a good chassis. A specific example, DBS 404. It still has advanced proton torpedoes on the SOC version. You can still put that on the modifiable version, but the SOC version has the strut lock override where you can just zoom through obstacles, and it has that bonus. But it still has networked, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
So like, now I think the strut lock override, personal opinion, for that style of ship is better than the grappling struts, because if I'm using a ship like 404, I'm going to zoom into the fight and not park. Just as a specific example.
Why is this okay? Continue. I'm trying to figure out this giveaway box.
Giveaway. It was
like-
driving me nuts at Cherokee. Sorry.
But look at Click. Like, people make a choice. I mean, Click's the same price, and you see. I've seen him both as the sock version and as the customizable one. But like Empire, I don't know anyone who's taken Mauler, regular Mauler. It's always Boy Mauler.
Yeah, it's always Boy Mauler and Backstabber.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's a free hull upgrade for the same price. Or for cheaper, isn't it? Because they're 3-point?
So Mauler's 3, Boy Mauler's 3, but Boy Backstabber's 4. And I think if Mauler and Backstabber were both 4, I'm okay with that. Moff Gideon, I don't know, man. Like, 3 seems really great for his ability.
I mean, that's true.
So
But at the same time, though, like, you also got to look at the First Order TIE Fighters. If you look at the First Order TIE Fighters, I mean, you have 3 points for DT and DT, Scorch, Gaelic. They're all 3 points.
Yeah.
Malorus, all
ridiculously
3
good.
points.
Like,
Right. So at what point do you look at TIE Fighters overall and not just like a specific faction's TIE Fighter? Because I mean, if you think about it, the First Order TIE Fighters are better just for the simple fact that they already have a target lock and a shield.
yeah.
Well, you could give Scorch and DT and Gaelic, give them 4-point loadouts, and I think that fixes a lot.
You mean 4-point ship cost?
No, 4-point loadout. They can say 3, but you put 4-point loadout. Now you have to make a choice.
Mm.
Because right now, I mean, you could slap shield upgrades on them. So then they're,
What do you
3
do
hull,
with
2
4 points
shields.
loadout?
You could put trick shot on it.
I better say they only have 1 talent, so I would say to go down to 5. I would say to go down to
Elusive.
5 because it would make people make a choice between doing something like pattern analyzer or optics, or doing, or going into the double talents.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to
Actually,
nerf it too
Scorch is the only
much.
one that has. Yeah, Scorch is the only one that has double talents, and DT doesn't. DT I think is 1 talent and mod.
Yeah, because I mean, look how good Malorus is. Like, she's 3 points, but she only has 4-point loadout.
Well, yeah, that's because her ability is ridiculous.
There's like no variety. Your choices are: do I want a cluster or mag pulse?
Right.
Yep.
And right now there's just too much variant. You could have just too many different builds.
Real
with
quick,
the
type
other-
exclamation point prize in the chat to enter for the card giveaway. Exclamation point prize. That's the entry for the Dr. Afra alt art. This is our watercolor series from Cherokee. So
I don't have that
exclamation-
one.
You don't?
It
I
should
don't.
be
You should.
coming in the mail, right?
Yes.
Well,
Oh, I guess I should.
well, oh yeah, we didn't send your set. Okay. Anyway.
Oh.
Steven's giving away Jonathan.
No, Lee was sending the stuff out, but you're not on the Patreon list.
How am I not on the Patreon? I've been on the Patreon since day 1.
I don't know, Lee.
I don't know. So we'll sort it out.
We'll figure it out later. It's just cardboard. All right, sorry.
Delicious
Hey, I
cardboard.
like the Thousand Dice watercolor. I like the Thousand Dice cards, man. It's like every time I go play at Huzzah over here in Northern Virginia, like I always bring anything I can with the Thousand Dice stuff.
Speaking of the Thousand Dice card, with the launch and restructure of Thousand Dice, not streaming games every week, but actually launching this podcast, we are launching the Thousand Dice Card Club. So, I'm going to type Patreon in the chat, and if you'll click on that link right there, that will take you to our Patreon, in which you will see there's a post there about the Dad Card Club, but if you click on membership, you can go to tiers, and for $3 a month, I mean, that's like
Less than a coffee.
less than a coffee. Yeah, for $3 a month, we're going to be sending out alt art cards every quarter, at the end of each quarter. Right now, Lee, did you have a chance to check out the cards that we talked about?
We got a lot. So we realized that Cherokee, we
Bo-Katan?
have just a ton of cards. Yeah, we got Bo-Katan. So that needs to go out. And then, so that's a Lego one, if I remember correct.
Okay.
And then we've also got, what else was there? We got the Gauntlet Fighter with, who was the second one that
We
did?
have Rook Cast.
That's right.
Yeah, that Rook one. I can't wait.
Here it
Yeah,
is.
so those will.
This is an unmatched style Rook Cast with a Gauntlet art that we had commissioned. So this is a special Dials and Dice card. The back of it, we've got like the bubble color. Really pretty. So yeah. Oh, sorry, dropped it. So yeah, take a second to go join our card club on Patreon. That will help support our channel. Every member helps, and you'll get cool cards. I mean, what? I think a card. I think $9 is worth the time that it took for us to come up with the design and all the work that it took to get one of these. What do you think? I mean, I don't know.
I thought it was
It's
cool.
totally worth it.
$9. Yeah.
And we met that guy at Adepticon here last year. That's
Last year.
who we commissioned to build her to make that. So,
Right.
in fact, we thought he forgot about us for the longest. To
It
be
took
perfectly
him-
honest,
It took him like 8 months to get back to us,
yeah,
but he did.
Yeah.
So
he did. It's around like November or something like that.
yeah, so
It's
exclamation
October,
point
November.
prize. Into the giveaway. So yeah, we do have the Dials and Dice Card Club. Join it. Check it out. Help support our podcast. And if you are listening to this afterwards, go to patreon.com/dadgaming and you will find our page. All right.
While you guys are doing the giveaway, Blackosaurus said the Mauler should go up to 4 points but have a higher loadout.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna pay one more point. Yeah,
Yeah,
put all the stuff on it.
that makes sense.
Oh, Procket Malarius.
Oh,
So I don't know if we go up to 8 points, because at the same time, if you put 8 points on it, you're gonna have a shield upgrade. Then you're gonna have a shield upgrade Malorus, and that's not fun.
Oh, can you imagine double modified Procket Malarius?
all
Ooh,
right. We only have
Oh.
2 people entered to win the card. So if you type
Well, that's easy
exclamation
enough.
point prize, you have a really good statistical advantage of winning an auto art card tonight. So
You got a 50-50 shot.
I mean, as of right now, until someone else types exclamation point prize.
I mean, fair.
All right. So what needs to be buffed?
Resistance.
Resistance could use some help.
What in resistance?
Oh
I want
man.
to see
So,
I want to see a 4-point X-wing.
well, we got one.
Yeah,
There is one. Zay.
Yeah.
I
We
want to
just
see.
need
I want to
another
see
one.
another one.
we've got Tim. He is like the master of resistance too.
So
What?
we do. Let me take a second. Introduce you. Tim Openauto is a resistance. What do you
Nerd.
call it? Nerd. Yeah.
Aficionado.
There. That's the word I was looking for. Um,
We're all nerds. I mean, come on, we're
So-
on an excellent
Yeah, really.
podcast.
so he is our Dials and Dice resistance expert. So my core faction that I like to fly is primarily Scum. I kind of gone through waves. So like year before last, I was flying First Order most of the year. And then last year I flew Resistance most of the year. This year I've been flying Rebels. So I don't know. That's just how it's gone. But I'm enjoying Rebels so far. I like the Alpha Strikes, torpedoes. Lee, what is your preferred faction?
I kind of bounce between Rebels and Resistance myself, but I am by no means as as good as Tim with Resistance. So I just like the X-wings. That's just me.
We'll call
They
you.
look
We'll call you our Rebel specialist, since that's really what you know the best. And then
Sure.
Jonathan, we need somebody that knows Empire and Seps. I guess.
Well, I know
plays-
Seppi's pretty well because, obviously, like when I first started playing the game, I started back in like the 1.0 days and started playing Scum when Scum split from Rebel and Empire back in I think Wave 3 or 5 or whatever it was,
Mhm.
back in 1.0. But as soon as the Separatist came out, I started playing Separatist like nonstop. Like when I say I bought into Separatists, I bought into Separatists. Like I bought 2 starter packs and 3 extra droids. So I had at least, 7 droids? So I had enough for 7 droids and a Bubble Lab off
Oh,
the
wow.
get-go. And I had
Nice.
2 Sith infiltrators. I think I've got 3 or 4 HMPs. I've got 5 Tri-Fighters. Like
Jeez, you can build anything.
Yeah, literally anything. The only ship I don't have right now actually is the Rogue class. Like I don't own the Rogue class fighter.
Really? I got one.
Oh, they look so good.
Yeah, I've seen them, and I need to buy that pack because it's Scum and Separatists, which are my two main ones. But then I also have like my third faction that I've been flying a lot of, is First Order. So like as far as tiers go, it goes Scum and Separatists are like 1 and 2, but First Order is not really far behind. And Nate is a big Sepi guy.
Yes. So Nate's
Yeah,
not
he
with
is.
us tonight, but he is our separatist. We don't really have an Empire person on
Don't.
here.
No, but Blekosaur, who's in the chat, is definitely a big Empire person.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you that from personal experience.
Oh, is he one of the Nova people?
Don't no, he was not. Was he a Nova? No,
No.
no, was not at Nova. No, but Blekosaur is one of my. He says Buff Vader in the chat. No, no. So Blekosaur is one of my really good longtime friends. That he was one of the people between him and my friend Josh that got me into playing X-wing. Like it because it was the two of them, and Josh went Rebels and Tim went Empire. And then when Scum split from the two factions is when I joined the game, and it was the three of us that had all three main factions, and he's been Empire since like day one. So
Nice.
he knows Empire pretty dang well.
So we got Vader that we need to buff. What else?
No.
Yeah, boy,
If you
Vader's
mean
gotta
buff,
go up.
if you mean buff, you mean Vader Bender going to 10 points. Yes,
Right. So
yes,
we got
absolutely.
Resistance that needs a little help.
Why you been shooting at Defender Vader?
I don't, but that's also the problem.
Right.
I am with Tim. We should always just buff Nia Nub, but that's just because he's my favorite character for some weird reason.
Yeah.
But-
I want Resistance to get a medium base ship. Like,
Yeah.
just give us one. Like, give us
I think
one.
they need to make.
And I don't want it to be a shuttle or a trans.
Please.
It's
Please,
gotta.
no more
It's gonna be
shuttle.
a support ship.
No more couches.
What? Okay. What? So what could be a medium base ship for Resistance?
I don't know. There was a bunch of stuff in that last movie.
Well, yeah.
So-
I mean, you could
So
throw
much.
anything in the faction for that.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm counting on. And
We'll,
I do want to
we'll take it all.
fly bombers again. You know,
They
let
do.
me fly.
I do think. I think the bombers are too iconic to leave out.
Yeah, I mean I think they're like the only resistance ship that aren't in standard. I think they have to retool them and just give them like
Then they're
the
in the opening
trajectory
scene of-
simulator.
Opening scene of one of the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they need they definitely need a buff, whether it is a point drop in cost, or a increased loadout, or a combination of both when they do become standard again, because the tools that are available to the bomber are like almost infinite because you do so many different things with them, but they don't have a high enough loadout value to really do what you would want to do with them to fill the role that they're supposed to fill in a squad.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like, I think the highest point one is like 15 points. That's like Paige Tico.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, look at that, Blekosaur.
Hey, congratulations.
Exclamation point win. Thank you for.
What'd you give him?
You're getting a Dr. Efra card.
There you go. I love Dr. Aphra, but also just because
Dude,
of the comics and the merch.
Dr. Afra Black Series is worth like $70.
Doesn't surprise me. I've got her first appearance in the comics, and woof, that's pretty decent too.
Oh, cool.
He's like crazy Indiana Jones in Star Wars.
Yeah, that's exactly how I'd put it too. So it's totally Indiana Jones lady Star Wars character essentially.
Oh yeah, because she's got 000 and BT1, right? Or
The
her.
murder droids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are
Gotta
her
love
Yeah.
droids.
And
All
then
right.
she's got Black. How do you say it? Black Kyrgyzstan? I'm terrible at pronouncing
Um,
names.
Chrysanthemum?
Chrysanthemum. Yeah.
Thank you.
Chrysanthemum.
Yeah.
I can't say it. Whatever.
Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum. So that
Oh,
was
can't
also
wait.
one that follows her around there for a good long time too.
Yeah.
I hope she's in the Mandalorian
I
sometime.
think his Black Series character is worth a little more as well, like $30 or $40.
Yeah. What you just bought one yesterday, didn't you?
I just ordered one on eBay last night. And speaking of that, I think we're gonna. Well, we have one more question to go over, but I do want to hit some content for the Mandalorian and the Bad Batch.
Oh man, it's too soon for the Bad Batch.
Really?
Oh God, hurts my
I'm
heart.
I'm s- I'm still 4 episodes behind, so don't
Oh,
say
Gosh.
jack. Or you can
Sorry.
say stuff. I'm
You
far
might
behind.
have to drop
That's
off
right.
because we're guys. This was on the podcast script. You're supposed to watch
I
it.
know. Have been watching it. It's just I'm a little behind. It's been busy.
What about the
It's a good
Mandalorian?
tug
Okay,
on your heartstrings.
where's everybody at on the Mandalorian? Please tell me you
I
watched
have
it.
not watched. I didn't watch last night, but I know it moved things forward. I just have been trying to avoid as many spoilers as possible. We watch it on Fridays in my house with pizza.
Ooh, Pizza Mandalorian Fridays.
Well,
Oh
you
yeah,
might just have to drop off so we can chat about it just for a little bit.
all right, all right.
But we do have one more question. So,
Yeah.
how good or bad do you think the current scenario balance is? And do you think there should be more scenarios? And do you have any ideas of what it should be? And it's a loaded question, but
You think they're going to release any with the starter kits? Because I mean, I feel like that's the perfect opportunity to put a new rule set out. I mean, as far as finally printing them and
I don't think they're going to
such.
print out the rule set anymore. I think it's just going to be follow this link or go
think
to
so, too.
Atomic Mass.
Yeah,
Can,
they've got
can I
to
make
have
one
something
comment?
though.
yeah, go ahead.
I want to make one comment on what I think needs to buff and why before we move too far past it. Z95s and any of the factions, there needs to be at least one 2-point Z95
There needs a 2-point filler.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could
because
totally see that.
it doesn't necessarily have to be a generic, because that way it's not spammable.
Right. That's
But
Right.
the fact that the Z95 are all 3 points, like you're telling me that a Z95 is the same quality as a TIE fighter or the same quality as a First Order TIE fighter? I don't think so.
No,
right.
not remotely.
Exactly.
And it would help spice
I
up some of the variety
still
of
feel like
ships
20
and
points
lists.
I still feel like 20 points is too narrow of a point window.
Yeah. Do you
Well-
still miss the 200 point?
Then you're going to have
I think they should do
factions
half
with
points.
8 ships that can't really like. Look at the Separatists. Like you wouldn't be able to fly. You wouldn't be able to fill all 25, 24 points if you did a swarm with
With 8 ships, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, that was just I wanted to add those 2 cents before we move to the next one. But as far as like the current scenario balance, I honestly think the current scenario balance is decent. I don't think there's any one scenario that is worse than the other. I mean, a lot of people. Yeah, everybody hates salvage. Like, I get that, 100%. Like, I myself do not like salvage.
Yeah, I was about to say
But-
everybody say on 3 your worst favorite. 1, 2,
It's salvage.
3. Salvage.
It's
Yeah,
always going to be salvage, and because it forces a ship to act differently. Because when
Yeah.
you're towing something, you can't reposition at all. You can't cloak. You can't barrel roll, boost, slam. It takes it away, and the thing I don't like about it the most is the fact that it takes away an action that you have with the ship,
Yeah.
like while you're towing something. But at the
What
same
if they,
time, it forces that the decision on your like if that scenario didn't exist, we would see a whole heck of a lot more ace style lists
what if we
and not see
saw
the variety.
just perhaps them actually integrate more scenarios like salvage that requires you to adapt more to your flying ability.
Like I have an idea of one that is a blatant theft from Legion, and that's like a bombing run escort, where it's just one token that moves like speed 2 every round, and if you have a ship within range 1 of it, you get a point.
That's great.
And it just goes, straight to the other side. And then
Just straight down the middle. Yeah.
or like you can place it anywhere, but you know, you
Or you can
at
do,
the end
or
at
you
the
can
end
do
phase.
some kind of cool, like, I don't know. This is in my brain. Some kind of cool addition to it for like roll a die on this result, go too hard
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, something like that. As long as it's like something you escort, you have to be within range 1 of it. So you have to keep somewhat occupied, or it just kind of sits there and does nothing for you.
Yeah.
I think 2 would be crazy, but I think just
Yeah.
you and your opponent
Having
each
one.
having one.
Yeah, what about the half
Yeah.
point things like Blechosaur's mentioning? Like, what about half points for scenarios where you can't hardly kill a ship before the game's over?
Well, I don't know. I think it's the one thing that made 2.0 so jousty. And then it would really, I think it would change. You just take a joust list every game.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Well, what about just adding
What I
like
do.
what about adding half points to like say assault, like the capture the flag or the king of the hill type one. And having two scenarios that do half points, two scenarios that don't.
I was
I think
thinking more
Because then
so
the 3
the
was it the
three light switch one
scramble?
because
Yeah,
Scramble has the most what do you call it? Potential to snowball.
yeah.
that's fair.
I don't know. I'm not a game developer.
Neither am I.
I don't know. Your Baby Yoda scenario was awesome.
Yeah, that's true. We should do that on stream
Yeah,
sometime.
definitely.
We have. It's been a minute though, but I think we needed to still edit it for 2.5 to some extent.
Oh, it has been edited. I mean, it was for the
Oh, that's
Cherokee
right.
Open,
You did. You did. I forgot.
the child scenario. We'll plan a stream for that. One night we'll all get together, TTS, play the child.
It's fun. I liked it.
Sounds good. All right. On to other news. Do we have any updates on? Oh wait, before we move on from X-wing, they did announce they put up some slides at Adepticon. So they announced the Battle of Endor scenario pack. What else did they announce? I'm just throwing these out there in case you guys want to comment on anything. Battle of Endor, we've got Captain York in the Defender. We've got Wedge with a different ability after you perform an attack that hits gain 1 focus. Then we have the new packs. We got a TIE Bomber that's coming out. We have Dash Rendar with a 3-die 180 turret. Also in
And a
the Scum
standardized Scum loadout.
Right. How many points do you think he's going to be?
The
They're probably
standardized Scum one?
Standardized
9.
Scum with a 3-die turret, not a 4-die turret.
But like at range 3, it goes up 1.
Oh, does
Right.
this do? Okay, oh, yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, at range 3 it goes up 1.
Throw trick shot on him. Now you're throwing 5 dice.
Yeah.
I still think he's going to be a problem.
Well, no, that's the standard. Does the standardized one have trick shot?
I couldn't read all the cards.
Hang on.
It doesn't.
It
The
has
standardized one does
Mercenary,
not.
Seeker Missiles, Lebo, and Outrider. And that's the Scum one. And then the other one has Efficient I can't read that. Progressing?
Efficient processing for Lebo or programming.
I can't hardly read it.
No, it's processing. It's processing.
All right.
But yeah, I think that Dash is probably going to be in like the 7-point range, 7-8 point.
Yeah, sounds about right. Other news, we have AMG's coming to your FLGS for Store Championship season this year. Starting May the 4th will be the start of the new season.
Can't wait.
There will be Store Championship prize kits that will be sent out. And here is a first announcement from Dows and Dice. We are partnering with the FLGS in the Raleigh area, and we will be streaming a local tournament. I don't know if it's going to be a store champ, but it's a good opportunity to have one. There's plenty of room, there's plenty of time to plan that out between now and then for the store. But, yeah, so we'll be streaming a tournament in July. So be looking for an announcement if you're in the area. You do have to register because it's like a 32-player cap. It's a small store. Anyway, store championship kits.
Oh, there's a question about the cost of the store championship kits. So the old kits were like $20 to $50, and then like the regional kits were about $150 to $300. But with the store kits getting a free ticket to Worlds, that it might be 50 to 100.
Yeah.
And then like the regional kits, that's the one where you could get a buy or a couple buys, I guess. I imagine that's going to be even more.
Another thing coming out, the Children of Mandalore Organized Play Kit. Not really sure what it's all about, but it does look like it is some sort of scenario pack.
Yeah, it says you're going to try to blow up escape pods or help everyone get away. So,
and there are
it'll be interesting.
Beskar scenario tokens, some new tokens and cards. Looks like a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Did anyone get the Louis tournament kits with the Beskar medal tokens?
No.
No.
They're
afraid not.
They're so good.
All right, yeah. So, moving on from X-Wing, we still have Star Wars content. But do we have any announcements for Legion? Anything coming out? Any updates on rules? I know they recently had a rules update, so there's a lot of stuff going on. But
yeah, they've had a lot of stuff with just line of sight, what's considered heavy cover, and so forth. Like you don't get line of sight, or excuse me, you don't get heavy cover from hiding behind like a saber tank anymore. So there's been a lot of controversy over it a little bit, but oddly enough, Tim, did you see on Facebook here tonight somebody was talking about coming out with a diorama set for Legion with Alp's chamber, and they've got Luke and Darth fighting in the chamber from Return of the Jedi?
So that was for Shatterpoint.
That's for Shatterpoint, really?
I'm pretty
I
sure
thought it was Legion.
I'm pretty sure that was for Shatterpoint. The big thing for Legion is Yub Yub.
Who?
Ewoks.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
those
I did
models
see
were
that.
wicked cool.
Yeah.
So they look great. Oddly enough, they're already announcing that for Shatterpoint too. I guess it had enough draw.
They announced like 8 different expansion packs for Shatterpoint.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna this year. They're really focused on the
Rebels,
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, yeah.
And then like next year, like 18 months from now, it looks like they're going to be focused on like Empire timeline.
Well, I saw they had the Ghost Crew.
Yeah.
That's going to be further out. So what I thought was cool is that they're doing like Jabba's palace style Leia and Lando and such. So I thought that was an interesting take.
Oh,
We haven't
yeah.
seen that yet.
I think some of that terrain is just going to be fantastic buys, and even if you don't play, like I probably won't play Shatterpoint except like on TTS because I already have
Yeah,
I want
too
to
much
I
plastic
want to
crack.
get more into hobbying and painting, and I think this is a good opportunity.
and they're bigger minis, so it won't be as hard to paint
Right.
Yeah,
because they're 40 millimeter instead of what 28.
28. Yeah,
Or- yeah. So
Sweet.
they're good size. I like the lightsabers too. So that was one of the main reasons I swung through Adepticon was go to demo that, and it was fun. So obviously there's a learning curve for every new game, but it was fun. I like the combat trees that they have. I thought that was an interesting play. So essentially, when you roll your dice, once you determine the number of hits, you go down the combat tree,
Yeah.
and you can
Like
kind of have some branches to decide whether you want to go more tactical or have more heavy damage.
Right, because you have
whether
the
you want to have
special
a
dice that have abilities that add to, right?
no, it's just your attack dice. So once you determine, so let's say that you got 3 hits through, right? So after they roll your attack and your defense die, you get 3 through. So at that point, you can go down a damage tree. The first one might be like double damage, and it'll do 2 points of damage. Next one might have another damage and a dash, and then you might have the ability to do, I don't know. Again, I played once, so for 30 some minutes. But you would have the ability to do like maybe a force push, right? And 1 point of damage. So, yeah, but you may also be able to just do 2 points of damage on the other tree, and that might have a different, talk track, or excuse me, damage track. That'll give you some tactical advantages. So it's interesting. I do like that. It's somewhat like Marvel Crisis Protocol, that once you get damage to your max, so like Anakin, I believe, had 11 health points or hit points. But once you get damaged to that point, at that point, you're out of that round. So you can't affect anything. You don't get points for objectives. So you're just kind of useless at that point. But you still get to come back at the beginning of the next turn. So that was interesting. That's very much like Marvel Crisis Protocol, is that you have a undamaged and damaged side of the card. Anakin has the ability to come back up to 3 times. I think most of them have 2 outside of like Jedi's and Sith, and some of your more named characters.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited.
It'll be
to
interesting.
Take a look at it, and
it'll be interesting.
I've been trying to watch some of the demo videos that they came out with.
The sucker for cool models.
I think we lost Tim.
I'm a sucker for cool models, so I'm gonna keep playing. Oh no, Tim.
Tim is not in our chat channel anymore.
Oh no.
All right. Well,
we were.
Hopefully, he'll be joining us here shortly.
We were going to talk about the Mandalorian and the Bad Batch, but not all of us here are caught up on it. I will ask
so good.
if anybody has any comments generally about like how the season's going. Personally, okay, here's a comment that I have. I really like how this season you're seeing character development in multiple different characters, like the armor, Paz Vizsla, Bo-Katan. You don't see a whole lot in Grief Karga or anything, but I don't know. I just feel like they've focused on
they're expanding
the Mandalorian character development in terms of like developing that culture more, I think.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely.
Agreed. So you kind of
definitely doing more.
It's great, and so because you kind of get to see what it is that they, kind of their structure of how they set everything up. I mean, obviously, we all knew that they can't take off their helmets. Everybody knew that, but it's kind of cool to see how the culture works and how that all plays out. And like, for example, when they had dinner and they said that nobody could eat around the fire, so and the person who's in charge of the group sits at the fire and gets to eat, so everybody else has to go off on their own. It's such an odd concept, but it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, you see them kind of living out their Mandalorian culture, and
Yep.
Question.
It's interesting.
Theory question. Who is the armorer?
Who? I don't know.
I can tell you who the
Halfway
actress
the
is.
fuck
Do you know Star Wars? Do you know Mandalorian lore enough to guess?
No.
To take a guess.
No.
Do you?
I mean, I know Mandalorian lore quite a bit, but I think, what's her name? Not Satine Kryze.
You think one of like the Kryze clan is?
No, it was a lady from the Clone Wars that wore like gold and white armor.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember her name, but that's a good guess. I know exactly who you're talking about. It was Sabine's like family.
Yes, it was Sabine's mother.
Yes.
Sabine's mother is the
Somebody from Clan Ren.
yes. What's her name? Gosh. No, not
It escapes me.
Ursa Wren.
Was
I
it
think it's
Ursa?
Ursa Wren, yes.
Interesting.
Go.
But they didn't
I'm
follow
still
the way
watching-
though.
Okay, go to after this. Go to YouTube and type in Ursa Wren, Clone Wars, and then listen to her talk and to look at her. She has gold on her armor. The Wren family followed Death Watch, and they had horns on their helmet. And you see the armor has subtle horns on her helmet. What else? There's a few things. But yeah, go listen to her speak in this show. And she sounds just like the armor. The cartoon.
You think
Wren.
that's going to be some kind of surprise at some point?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if
Lee,
they'll
if
ever
you had
reveal
watched
that.
the latest episode, I
I'm
could
just-
make a comment, but I can't.
Oh,
And-
yeah, all right. I'm checking out. Sorry,
I don't
boys.
know, I don't-
So
I don't
I
wanna-
saw.
No, you don't have to do it. I was just saying. I was like, there was something I was about to say, and I was like, oh wait, nope, can't say that.
Oh, it just came out yesterday. Come on, guys. I wanted to watch it, but we were holding out for pizza night.
I got up and watched it before the kids woke up.
Yeah, I almost watched it last night, but I was super tired, and then I ended up staying up till 3 anyway. So what did it matter? I should have watched it.
Okay. Mandalorian. Okay. Which
You're not gonna just say it. I'm not
No,
terribly. I really don't care
you've
about
seen
ruining
this,
stuff so much.
the space battle with the N1 and the Gauntlet and the
And the pirates.
and the Interceptors. No, the
Oh
Interceptors.
yeah, that was
Oh
great.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was awesome. So fun.
That was so. And then the bombers came through. Like
Yep.
they're showing a lot of different ships and stuff.
Oh,
I like
this
seeing the
season.
Gauntlet actually in action.
Oh yeah, me too.
agreed.
It's
Agreed.
That was really
We're
really cool to
seeing
see.
so-
I mean, because
and-
you don't see it that much, like if at all, in like the Clone Wars series. You just see the ship.
Speaking of
Mhm.
the Gauntlet and the Mandalorian, if you type !Patreon, we're going to be giving away either Bo-Katan or Rookcast Alt Art card for this first go around. Also, if you sign up tonight or before tonight, we'll throw in an extra card for the first quarter. How about that? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that again! ! Oh, I gotta type in the chat.
When are we going to see the Marauder ship? By the way, I mean we should see the Marauder at some point. They announced Bad Batch for Legion too. That's some news I forgot to mention.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So I'm excited. That'll be fun.
So that would probably fall in what Republic?
The Bad Batch.
I don't know. I would think maybe it's right
thought
there
Rebels.
between. No,
It's
because
between
it's right
Republic
between.
and Rebels.
Maybe both. What the hey? That'd be awesome.
I would think.
Speaking of the Bad Batch,
Let's see.
that season just ended, but we're not gonna spoil the last couple episodes. I think Lee is 4
Oh,
episodes behind.
I didn't realize that this week the last 2 episodes were like the last 2.
Yeah.
for the
This,
season.
this week,
Don't you hate that? At least if you know that you're going into the last one, it's not so bad.
right?
Now that I
Well,
know
I
that
mean, you
it's like
should know
basically
that this.
over, it's like, oh man.
Well, I mean, they kind of left a cliffhanger.
You mean kinda?
Oh, I should
Kinda.
have
Oh,
watched
they
it.
left one.
They left
We've been
multiple
watching like one
cliffhangers.
every other night for the last week, so
Okay,
I'm just
Jonathan, last night
Mm.
after finishing it, I went on eBay and ordered a Black Series Tech.
That's a good call. Good
That's all
call.
I'm gonna say.
It's a good call.
Anyway,
I've
Tim
actually been
had
trying to find the micro. Oh, what is it? Micro galaxies or something? It's the other set. It's a set of toys, like the cast toys that have like little models in it, and they're
yeah.
actually models that
Oh,
are meant to be played.
they had tons of those at this flea market that I was at in Delaware.
Yeah, I can't find the Marauder. Like everywhere I've gone, I can't find the Marauder.
Huh.
I've been trying to pick one of those up. I
Yeah.
had the Falcon.
Anyway, let's wrap this podcast up. So, Tim has not rejoined us. I don't know what happened. He did send me a message. Maybe he had to go baby tend. Oh,
Daddy duty.
I have to go baby duty. All right. Well,
Yep.
thank you, Tim, and that's partially why we are called Dolls and Dice. All four
Yep.
of us have young children. So
Mm-hmm.
I also have old children, but
Yeah.
you know,
Lee.
I mean, he's 15 taller than me and he's got a freaking
He is
mustache. So
15 now.
Oh God,
Oh, yeah.
he's already 15.
Oh my goodness.
oh yeah,
Dude,
Ugh.
time's going by too fast. Anyway,
Mine turned 6 this year, and I was like, oh crap.
my daughter will
Yep,
be
I got one
3.
turning. My daughter turns oldest turns 6 here in a week next Friday.
Youngest.
Yeah, that's the oldest, youngest. But
Yeah.
my oldest daughter.
Lily.
No, my
Oh,
youngest
yeah, that's
daughter.
right. Because she's
The one that you learned how to change a diaper on. Though technically, I did show you on the teddy bear first.
yeah. I held Lee's daughter. I held Lily before their siblings did.
Yeah, you
Props.
did, didn't you?
I was like the third person to hold Lily
Yeah. So
because I went to the
it's been a
hospital
minute,
that day.
and she's 6. So go figure.
Wow, goodness.
Golly, time flies.
I know, man. Goodness, we've known each other for a while now, huh?
Just a few
Anyway.
years, at least 6.
All right. Well, with that, all that being said, we are going to wrap up this podcast. So, everyone, thank you for joining us on Dials and Dice podcast. We will be posting this to Apple Podcast, also SoundCloud. Just be looking on Reddit and Discord for our links. Also, if you have not joined our Discord community, I will type that in the chat right quick. And there you go.
On a side note, I totally just bought tech even without seeing the last episode on the eBay. So, because,
Hey,
who doesn't want a tech anyways?
why not? Yeah.
Right?
What's up, Lambolo? Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, we're actually wrapping up the podcast, but you should be able to go back and re-listen to it because all the content is relevant. Best you and your thanks. All right, well yeah, not gonna drop any spoilers or anything because Lee is not up to date.
So
It is 10:45. Join us again. Okay, before we go, I will just kind of give you a vision for what we're doing moving forward. We're no longer just going to be doing random game streams weekly. That's just not really content. We want to give you real content. We want to give you some discussion. We might do a multiplayer the child scenario game on a stream. But we're going to be more intentional. But they're going to be less often. So when you do see check out our Discord. Look for Reddit. Hopefully, in the future, we'll be posting more ahead of time about when we'll be streaming, so that you can join us live. So, thank you for joining us. Any last words, Lee and Jonathan?
I appreciate everyone joining. So it's fun chit chatting, especially when we got so much news to talk about. So
Yeah.
We look forward to coming up with an awesome outline for next time and kind of sharing everything that's going on.
Yep. All right, Jonathan, anything else?
Yeah, absolutely love the new rebranding and love being able to just sit and talk X-Wing because it's not all the time I get a chance to do that.
Yeah.
So it's fun to actually kind of get my thoughts and then get the community's opinions about things.
Yep.
So
And,
I like it. I'm sure we'll probably sprinkle in games here and there, but it's not necessarily going to be our main focus
Right.
anymore, which is a good thing.
And
So
when we do stream games, like we might pick up some stream games for leagues or tournaments that are going on for like Jawa or Hexiled or something like that. So people want to watch those more, so we'll try to pick those up every now and then as well. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us. Have a good night, sleep tight, and don't let the bed bugs bite.